Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby. I'm David Thetford. That's Gary Ashby. We both wore black caps, but mine has TNA on it. Gary's has TT on it.
Well, I got the TNA shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't want to too much TNA. Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yep. Then I got my little ball mark here on my cap.
Yeah, well, it's important in case you need to mark your ball.
In case I need to. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can't ever tell.
Well, there's a rough night at Round Rock. What's the saying? Rough night at
OK Corral.
OK Corral. It's a rough night.
It was.
Well, okay, there you go. OKC.
Yeah, OKC.
Rough night at OKC, I tell you. But here's the only good thing I can come out of last night is it was a rough night, but it was only a rough night for about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Because
once it got to 5-0, it was game, set, and match.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Now you go, well, we scored 4 runs. Well, yeah, but it was over early, and we didn't have to sweat it out. You know, we didn't have to, lose a really tough one at the end. We just got beat.
Mm-hmm. We did.
So we just, what's the old deal? Grin and bear it.
Move on.
Look what I got on, Dave. I got on my Texas Tech shorts. You know why?
I have no idea.
Well, I wear them to special events like regionals and stuff like that, and the basketball regionals and baseball regionals, and I just felt like we need to support our troops, and they're coming back at 2:00 today, I think. They are out at the softball diamond, and that is called Rocky Johnson Field, and so I think it'd be neat for y'all to go out there and welcome them home.
Yeah, no question about it. I think it opens up at 1:00. There's no admission charge. That's nice. Clear bag policy. Is it?
Yeah. Well, there may be that, but there's no charge.
It's free. It is at 2:00. Gates open at 1:00. Rocky Johnson Field.
You wonder, had they won the national championship, would they have charged and have the money go to NIL?
Yeah,
to get players for next year's national championship.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say this: I like our chances next year.
You do, I do too.
I like our chances next year.
We got almost everybody back.
All right, let's come up with some positives from last night. We would not have thrown. Our big right-hander, she was fine. I don't know that she will or won't be back next year. But our left-handed freshman,
she was good.
She got to come in, and you used to say hair on her belly.
Yeah,
get some hair on her belly.
Let's don't do that. That's not. Girls don't want that.
Well, I know, but it put some. What did it do for her then? It gave her some experience.
Yeah, there you go.
It gave her some vital experience, and let me tell you, it's golden.
But she was very composed. I was proud of her.
That's golden for that girl to get in there 3 innings. I don't think they scored on her, did they?
No.
Well, they might have won. They might have had 1 run on her. Let's just say they didn't. But anyway, that is vital experience for her coming back next year. You talk about feeling some confidence coming back next year. You're not a freshman anymore. You're a sophomore that shut down Texas in the national championship game. You can't get much more.
That was great.
Yeah.
She really pitched well, and she's got velocity. She's up in the
she's in the 70s. Yeah, and a changeup.
Yeah, she's that just helps us in so many ways because you got Kennedy, and she's she's going to be the show again. But just think if she'd have had a little rest, it would have made all the difference in the world.
Or instead of intentionally walking someone, just throw 4 balls.
Yeah.
We walked a girl last night. She didn't notice it, though.
Yeah, we did.
We walked a girl with the runner on second, but we didn't stand up and try to.
Mia, what's her name? Mia, the girl that hit the grand slam.
Yeah,
we
threw 4 pitches out of the zone, and really, I think that's probably what we should have done because that's more
normal.
Normal.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I told David this morning that that was a lot like that intentional walk that the girl, and I tell you what, I'm not necessarily proud of that UT girl, but I admire that UT hitter. That she's old for the tournament, but she's a stud, and she knows she's a stud. If you're a 220 hitter, or if you're hitting 8th in the lineup and they're intentionally walking you, you take your intentional walk, regardless if they're almost strikes or not. Mm-hmm. You take your walk, you go to first. But she's the stud. She knows she's the stud. She knows this is she's throwing it right here. So anyway, that was the darndest thing, though. We're intentionally walking a girl, and the first pitch I thought was a strike.
I did too. It was really close.
And now you go, okay, if it was a strike, now are we going to pitch to her? We got her down 0-1.
She's over.
And she's over.
She had to have a hit in the World Series.
But no, we throw one that's almost strike 2.
Yeah.
So anyway, but what that reminded me of is the Virginia game when we're playing for a national championship, and the guy hits a 3-pointer at the buzzer, wasn't it? Or
right at the end.
Right at the end, hits a 3-pointer, and then we wind up losing, and our player getting hurt.
Yeah.
The player getting hurt. What was his name? Our big.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Tariq, great player.
Tariq Owens. Yeah.
Tariq Owens.
I just thought of it.
Just came to you. It didn't come to me. Hang on a second. Right. Tariq Owens getting hurt is a lot like Nyjah running out of soap. I mean, she just got wore down. Yeah, just got wore down. But at least she showed she's human.
That's funny. Coach got run over there in third base coaching box. Mia, what's her name?
There's so many positives from this season and this tournament, and getting to see him is one of them. We've got a great pitcher. We've got a great coach, guys.
We do.
You know, and you can go, well, why did he do this? Well, everything he did made sense. Not everything he did worked, but everything he did made sense. And, gosh, what a personality he is.
He looked like some of the time he looked like a Cheshire cat. That's what I thought about.
Sitting over going,
just like he smiling. I was going, does he know what's going on for sure?
Does he know we're down 5-0?
He's great for the kids. I mean, he's just always upbeat and positive and encouraging.
Do you not? I love watching girls softball because it's so much
action.
Well, there's action, but they're pleasant.
Yeah,
they're happy.
You know
they're partying. I mean, it's fun.
I watch them and I just think they got so much movement out there on every pitch. They're swinging their arms around, touching the rear. I'm just like, settle down.
What does that even mean when you touch your tongue and then you touch your hind end?
She's so hot.
We're
just hot.
I'm hot.
I don't know. But they shake their head like this a lot. Like the pitcher's always doing this, like people are telling them stuff. Okay, yeah, I got it.
But I'm telling you, they have fun.
Oh, they do. They love it.
And, the baseball's a different deal. Baseball's very serious.
Yeah.
Now then, I don't necessarily want baseball to get like softball where they're chanting and dancing and
there's a lot of energy
and doing all that stuff. I don't necessarily want that, but they could at least have some fun.
Well, what was the deal with that? What was Mia's last name, the third baseman from Texas? Scott. Yeah, I just thought of it again.
Hang on, I'm gonna start thinking of stuff.
Mia Scott. She and that whatever, the pitcher, when they do that
teacup
fake kiss deal, I'm like,
I'm not big on that.
I'm not either. That'd be weird if you did it.
You don't want to do
baseball.
That. Yeah, the men baseball doesn't want to. You don't want to do that. Speaking of T-sips, though, I'm going out to All American Eatery to get my burritos, and I pull back and I miss the light, and I look over to my left, and there is a guy with his Texas cap.
Oh.
Not Texas Tech, his UT cap, sitting there on his dash. And I go, well, we're going to have to put up with that for a little while.
Gosh.
Walmart better have stocked up on their burnt orange and stuff because here they come.
Here comes UT Walmart.
Yep, here we go.
Well, when the game was over, I turned the sound down and wouldn't watch. I couldn't watch them celebrate.
Well, you should have done it before the game. I watched that pregame deal, and I'm watching it, and I'm going, and Terry and I had my mother-in-law Connie over, and I'm going, have they said one thing about Tech?
Yeah.
It was like a University of Texas infomercial. It was the darndest thing. And then they come back from break, and I go, well, now they're going to talk about Tech. No. It was unbelievable. And then they go, okay, who's going to win the game? And all three of them, UT. And they did everything but hook 'em horns. And you're going, come on, guys, you're a national broadcast. You know, you're not supposed to be. But I'm going to tell you, get used to it, because that's the SEC, you know, ESPN SEC.
Yeah.
And we might as well get used to it. And we better, that's why last night was really important. We need to find ways to, I don't know if it's shut them up is what we're trying to say, but that might be as good a way to put it as there is. It just shut them up. We need to have some, like Arizona represented last night, didn't they?
Boy, they did, didn't they? How do you give up 18 runs?
Compete.
18 runs.
We're going to be the border conference
to an ACC team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least it wasn't an SEC team.
Yeah. Well, I just couldn't stand to watch them celebrate. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't do it. So, and I guess if we'd have won, that they'd have still said, well, you know, Texas should have won this.
Well, they probably would have. Well, I tell you what, every game except last night, you go, well, the other team sure could have won that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was a good tournament.
Good series.
Big B went. He went to a game.
Which game did you go to, Brendan?
I went to game 1 on Wednesday.
Yeah, what'd you do? How was it?
It was phenomenal. Great crowd. There was more Tech fans than UT fans there on Wednesday. I think that was the case throughout the weekend, but I mean, Tech fans spread all out. I mean, but there's also a good contingent of Texas fans too. It was a great experience. It's a great ballpark. Now,
why did you go?
Was it a pleasant experience, or was it, oh, screw you?
Oh, no, it's a pleasant
experience.
UT
and Tech coexisted.
There wasn't much fighting and butting heads. It was kind of tense because everyone's kind of sitting there thinking, okay, who's going to score first? And then it gets tight at the end.
All right, B, I've thought of several people to blame on that intentional walk gone bad. Like, any of the fielders should have gone, time, and go up there and say, hey, that's a little close to the strike zone.
Somebody say something.
Well, now you're on my list because you were there.
You should have been yelling.
You could have said, hey.
I'll take the blame.
Hey.
I'll take the blame.
But why did you go? What was
Why did you go?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, that's a very simple.
How did it come around for you to go?
Because he could.
Yes, pretty much. I didn't work on Wednesday, and I had a friend who I knew wanted to go. And we thought it would be a great opportunity to watch a national championship game because tickets were, $50 a pop for us.
Oh, wow.
And so you think about baseball, basketball, football, those ticket prices are very pricey. And OKC's,
who'd you go with?
His name's Everett.
And he lives here in Lubbock?
Yes, sir.
And he's a Red Raider?
He is a Red Raider.
Good.
And he likes to drive.
Yes.
Did y'all spend the night? I'm sure you did.
No, we came right back.
Don't be so sure, Dave.
Y'all went to the night game and then drove back home?
Yes. My head hit the pillow Thursday morning at 4 a.m.
Oh,
you got to admire that.
Yeah, I went to Choctaw, and it's a little further than Oklahoma City. Not much, but a little. That's not an easy drive.
It wasn't, and for some reason, on our way back, GPS rerouted us through Quanah. And so we were taking the backwoods, and it was...
So y'all just, whatever she tells you to do, y'all do it?
Well, I think we missed an exit and got rerouted out of Lawton.
Oh.
Because on the way up there, we go up through Wichita Falls, Burke Burnett, then shoot straight up to OKC, and then somewhere along the way, in the middle of the night, we zigged instead of zagged into the backwoods of Texas and Quanah.
Ooh.
Did y'all see the Red River?
Yes, we did.
I went to Choctaw and didn't see the Red River either time. And I was going up and it was light then. It was dark when I was coming back. But
Siri sent them. Is it Siri we call her? The one that tells you where to go?
Yeah, she can tell you.
Siri sends them to the backwood and she says, okay, now get out of your car and squeal like a pig.
So that took a while to do that.
Yeah, and I'm talking about roads where you can't see the shoulder and there's weeds about as tall as me.
Go wee!
Lined up all the way on the side.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we only saw like one or two deer.
There's only a handful of people know what I'm talking about.
I do.
But I knew you were one.
Oh,
shoot.
There's a funny story about that.
Oh,
a true story.
Oh, I don't think there could be a true story about a true funny story about that.
Well, it's funny because what was the guy's name that was it? Ned Beatty was the one that was squealing. And so Dee, my brother-in-law, they did a movie called After the Rain, and Ned Beatty was in it. And he asked the other guy's name that made him squeal was like Richard or something. And Dee, they were sitting out just visiting one day, and Dee just asked me. He said, "Do you ever hear from Richard?" He says, "No, but I get a Valentine's card every year."
Or what was the name of that movie?
After the Rain.
Because I went to the Winchester Theater
That's where we had it.
Premiere.
Yeah.
And I went there and I watched the movie, and it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to wait for it to come out. I never.
It's still in a vault.
Ever.
In Los Angeles. It's still in a vault. You got to pay to store it. So it's still costing money.
Well, is there a...
We've got a copy.
Well, I know, but couldn't somebody take it out of the vault?
They could.
I mean, because the Shawshank Redemption's on like every day.
I know.
Seemed like they could squeeze in, what was the name?
After the Rain. Put
Seemed
it
like
on.
they could squeeze in After the Rain instead of the 20th version of the Shawshank Redemption.
That's
Here's After the Rain.
That's a great title, too, After the Rain. Lots of things can happen after the rain.
Why?
I don't know.
Why is it not out of the vault?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Seemed like we didn't even tell you who was on last week.
Who was?
Well, you weren't.
I wasn't.
You called in for a minute. Craig Wells, thanks to him. Appreciate him always being willing to help. Johnny Taylor and James Morton, Haskell Football Classic last Saturday. Appreciate them coming in. They're always great. Kurt Langford was on the phone with us, and Matt Dowdy was on the phone, College World Series. And Wes Kittley, Texas Tech Track and Field, he's going to be on again here when we come back. Talk about the finals coming up. We'll be right back.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All righty, All-American Eatery, did you have a report?
I have a report on All-American Eatery. They are now Tuesdays through Saturdays in Wolforth.
Good.
Back open in Wolforth. And Wolforth, support them. This is a great place to eat.
Yes.
Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 8. In Lubbock, they're closed on Sundays now. So Sundays, they're going to take the Sabbath off. And Saturday, they're open from 8 to 5. And here's the deal. And I gave old Kodiak a tip this morning. They've got a dog named Kodiak. Now, they don't, but they're supporting a dog. And if you want to help, Kodiak, I think, has got cancer. And it's hard to decide. These are tough decisions. And we'll talk to Wes about this in a second. These are tough decisions, whether to spend the money to help a dog that's potentially dying.
Okay.
And some people go, well, there's no choice. You just do it. And some people go, I don't know. It's a dog. But this dog has got cancer, and they're going to try and save him.
Save it.
If you give a donation, and it doesn't matter what the donation is, if you give a donation, you get a free appetizer.
Well, that's nice.
So that's reason enough, besides the great food out at All-American Eatery.
And to help Kodiak. Well, this is one of Wes Kittley's favorite places to eat. In fact, we've seen him out there many times.
Yeah.
Coach Kittley, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
We're good. Thanks for doing this 2 weeks in a row. We're going to get you next week too, because we'll be at the NCAA championship, right?
I will. We leave tomorrow, so I'll be heading that way.
Where is it this year?
Eugene.
Oh, it's
always at Eugene, Gary. And unfortunately, it's always there.
Well, you like to have a good central location for everybody to attend.
I know it.
Like Omaha, Oklahoma City, Eugene.
Yeah, well, at least they're in the middle of the country, but you know how it is.
Yep.
I guess. Hey, All-American Eatery, you and Bob Matney, and I know Matney's one of your big supporters, and you and Bob Matney are regulars out there.
We are, and I just got through eating breakfast with Mr. Matney, and so just want to give him a little shout-out.
Is he going to Eugene?
He is not. He's not going to get to go this time, but he'll be at everything else we got.
That's for sure.
I guarantee you he will. He's a great one.
Well, Coach, I've got the it's so hard to keep up, but I've got this list of, and if you go to Flow, what's it called, Coach? Flow Track or something?
Flow Track.
You can see all of the qualifiers and all of their times, and they're ranked best time. Flow Track of everybody that is qualified in the NCAA championships at Eugene, Oregon. And
all 24 of them. Yeah, 24 per event.
24 per event.
All right. Now, most of our listeners are highly intelligent, but spell flow for me, because I would spell it FLO track.
That's
Is
what
it
it is.
FLOW track?
That's what it is.
Nope, you did it right, Gary.
That's where it is. You can see everybody, men and women, that have qualified. And that's a bunch to keep up with. We've got a whole bunch going, Coach. It looks like a good group going.
Yeah, we got 13 women and 13 men, so we
wow.
got 26. So it's a big group.
That's awesome. Well, I know you've already figured up exactly how it's going to play out, have you?
Well, I always figure it, but it never works out exactly the way you want it to.
All right. What are our realistic expectations? Isn't top four the goal?
Yeah, Gary, when you get to this meet, it's all about quality. And let's just pick the women first. We've got, we are really good in the triple jump. We are really good in the discus. We're really good in the hammer. And we got 2 hurdlers. And, we're big field events for women. And Shelby, our discus thrower and our hammer thrower, you hate to say it, it all comes down to one kid, but it doesn't totally. But if she is on fire and really gets top 2 in both of those events, and then our national champion Timmy Tope in the high jump, and then our triple jumpers with Victoria and Amelia, I mean, you look up, you got 35, 40 points. Well, you're going to be a trophy team. But if they're 4th or 5th and they're not having a good day, well, then you're top 10. And so that's just how it is. It's just, you got one shot, you go in there one time, and those rankings don't mean a thing other than, some people are really good and they prove it, but you got to be good that day. And but I'm excited. I mean, I really am. I think our women have a chance to get a trophy.
Okay, before we leave the women, go back to that high jumper's name.
Timmy Tope out of Sheena. She's from Nigeria. She's national champion.
I love it.
And I'm hoping she can be national champion outdoors. She was indoors.
Wow. So we've got a chance to be on the podium.
Yeah.
We've got Shelby is in 2 events, discus and hammer, and she's good. And then Timmy Tope is the former national champion. She's good. And then Victoria in the triple jump, she could win it. So in other words, I feel that we have 4 events we possibly could win if we were just on fire. But if they'll just be top 2 or 3, we're still going to be in good shape.
Okay.
How about Fanny? How does she say her last name?
Well, I coach her personally, and I'm so proud of her. She ran 2:07 last year and ran 2 flat this year. Just the most incredible improvement of any kid I've ever coached.
You notice he threw in. I coached her.
Well, the reason I'm so proud of her is because, you get to work with her specifically every day.
Yeah.
And
now, is that her real name?
Fanny is
real name or a nickname?
It's called Funny.
Funny
is her name.
Oh, okay.
In Europe,
she spells it
Fanny is funny.
Funny. Okay, that is funny. Well,
yes.
Coach, you got a great girls. Our women have really come on the last 2 or 3 years, haven't they? They've made huge strides.
No, we really have.
Huge strides.
Well, and we won the men last year. What y'all don't forget it because you probably talked to me enough. But we had 3 national champions off the men's team winning the national championship that were seniors, and so we're not down. We just we got a little bit injured. We're a top 10 team on the men, and so we just have got to give me this recruiting class. I think it's going to be special, and I'm hoping we can be back there next year or whatever. But we could have a good meet in the men still and be 5th, 6th, or somewhere in there if we really have a great meet.
What about our 4x4 team? They got a chance to win it?
Yes, they do. I'm very excited about it.
We're really good.
It's the best. We ran 3:02, at regional, and we're going to run a lot better at the national meet. Now it's supposed to be a little 60 degrees and 45 at night, so we're gonna we're going to see how that works.
Yeah.
Has anybody in that quarter relay NCAA broken 3?
In the past, but not this year.
Okay, I just wonder if it ever happened.
We ran 3:02, and 3:01.7 is the best mark right now. But I feel really good about our chances there. And, A&M and us and, there's actually South Florida. They're the one that has the best team on paper. But it's going to be there's 5 teams that are on 3:02 to 3:01. So you got to be on.
Man, that'd be a fun race to watch, won't it? That'll be so fun.
And it's early in the meet too.
That's good. I wanted to ask you, Coach. When I talked to Coach, we texted about him being on the show. He said I got practice. I was trying to get him to come in, but he said I got practice. What do y'all this time of the year, right before this last meet? What do y'all do at practice?
Everything is short and quick and really high quality, high intensity.
Good.
So we'll do starts with the sprinters. We'll go over 20, 30, 40 meters. We're not going to go run 400-meter repeats or do a bunch of volume. You're just sharpening, but you got to stay sharp. We don't run till Wednesday with the men, and we don't run till Thursday with the women.
Oh.
So you can't just your nervous system will go to sleep if you just sit on the shelf. So we got to stay sharp. So we're doing little quick, small workouts.
Y'all do it outside, I guess.
We will, yes, as long as the weather's good and it's good right now. We'll finish up today and then be ready. We fly out tomorrow.
Do you have like a high school facility you go do that at, or where do they?
Gary, there's
that?
2. Yes, they let us get on the facility Monday and Tuesday, but once the meet starts, then they shut it down, and then they have a practice track at Lane Community College there in Eugene.
I'm assuming that they put on a great meet, or they wouldn't get to keep it.
No, they do. They put on a great meet. They really do.
And their facilities are phenomenal. They are literally phenomenal, aren't they?
No, they are. Phil Knight built that facility. Nike gave all the money to build that facility. They had the World Championships there a couple of years ago. And, it's gorgeous. But I hate the weather normally because it's unpredictable. And then, as Gary said, man, you got to go plumb across the country every year to the same site. And it's shocking to me. Oregon hasn't been very good in the last 10 years.
That was my next question is, if, with all that Nike money, I don't remember Oregon being like when we think of Florida, Texas Tech.
They haven't won a national championship in probably 10 years, but they've got big NIL money. They've got big other things and facilities, and they are trying to get it back. And they're going to be, they got a chance to be a top 4 to 5 team this year. They are much better, but they're not going to win the national championship.
Okay.
Man, this is, I think of Oregon, I think of long-distance runners. I don't know why, but that's what
Yes,
that's what
Prefontaine, and that's what you think.
Prefontaine, there you go.
But they're pretty well-rounded now. They do love distance the most, but they have a pretty well-rounded team.
God, how could you possibly love distance more than the field events and the
yeah. I can't imagine. Hey, tell us about our pole vaulter. Did I see something about our pole vaulter?
Yeah, Sean Gribble. He's got a great chance of, he's our little sophomore, and Tom Slagle coaches him. Just does a fabulous job with Sean, and I'm really hopeful that he's going to be a top 5 kid this weekend. And his sophomore year, he was just a freshman indoors. We redshirted him last year, so he was only a freshman this year. And but outdoors, we did jump him last year, and he went to nationals last year and didn't score. So this he's been there, done it, and I'm really hoping that he's going to, have a lot more confidence and just more experience to go get it done this week.
Did he set a tech record?
No.
Wow.
Bradford last year. He jumped 19.5.
Oh, my gosh.
Sean has jumped 18.6, which is very, very good. But 2 years ago, it was out of sight. Just, there was a kid, another kid jumping 19, and Zach was jumping 19. And, it was just an exceptional year for pole vault.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Real quick, you said you thought he had a chance to finish 5th. All right. First gets a gold, second gets a silver, third gets a bronze. What do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 get? Attaboys?
They give everybody a plaque, 1st through 8th.
Okay.
You get a plaque.
Nobody gets anything but a plaque. It'll say 1st place, 2nd place. They all look the same, just got a different number on them.
Oh, I thought they got medals.
It's all the same.
But you're all,
Don't
that's
anybody getting their feelings hurt because
That's equity.
Bob's was bigger than Steve's.
your first team All-American top through 8, and so that's why they do it that way. They just keep them all the same.
So we really want our boy. He may finish 5th, but we definitely want him to finish in the top 8.
Oh, definitely. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, he could win it. The pole vault is fickle. It's just whoever's on. If there's a headwind or a side wind, these guys are real particular, and anything can happen. And actually, Oklahoma girl that got second indoors, she went to A&M last week and didn't even get out. So, it's just the way things go sometimes.
Well, horses, there's mudders. In pole vault, if it's raining, do they pole vault?
They do, as long as it's not lightning.
Oh,
Yes.
my gosh.
Okay.
That's the most dangerous thing.
Long jump is dangerous, too, because of the board. But Oregon gets 256 days of rain
So they got
per year.
Oh, my
You may not
So
even
I've
have
never
the pole
been
vault
there.
if
It
you
doesn't
don't.
rain. And
Wow.
we had Trey Culver and Bradley one year right in the middle of a monsoon. They're trying to high jump. So,
Hey, Coach, and I'm sure you thought of this, but like a couple of weeks before y'all go up there, you ought to just hose down over there at the high jump pit, hose it down, and let
spray
them
'em with
practice
water
on
as
that.
they
Because,
jump.
like you said,
Well,
you've never been up there without it.
this is going to be something that's the oddest thing. The biggest thing I worry about is not the cold or the rain, or even though I don't like it, but we are preparing. The pollen is awful there. And so if you've got any kind of allergies, and you know what we're doing to try to offset that is take honey before we get there.
That's a good thought.
Wow.
And so we've been doing that all week.
Good
Now, that
grief.
is smart. I never heard that the pollen is horrible in Oregon.
It's unbelievable. Yes. And if you've got any allergies, boy, and you're there a week, it's going to get you. Now, if you're only in there a day or two, you're probably fine, but we're going to be there the whole week, so we got to take precautions.
Yeah. Man, you think of everything.
We got to. That's my job.
That's your
My job.
Well, Coach, you've done a great job of thinking about things all these years, and we're so proud of you and what this team has done. And it just becomes. And I know we didn't win last night, but this is y'all are the last ones. This finishes up the sports year, and I don't know if a national championship is possible, but you've done it before, and. Y'all are there. Y'all have, there's a few of our Tech teams that are already there. And Texas Tech track and field is one of those teams that has secured their brand.
Well, the bar's so high that he was disappointed talking about a top 10 finish for the men.
Yeah.
That's how high the bar is.
I look back to when old Corky tried to help me get here, and then you know what he went through and what he didn't have, and then how we've been able to build it. And that's the most proudest thing is I wanted to bring a world-class track program to Lubbock, Texas, and to Texas Tech. And I think we're doing that, and we are. I think when people think of us now, we're a top 10 program on, every year, and that's probably my proudest thing. It's the hardest job I've ever had, but the most rewarding.
All right, Coach, we only have a minute left. Softball, the Sellers family made a dramatic difference in our softball program, and we're so proud of them.
Absolutely.
All right, track. I know Bob Matney, Terry Fuller. Are there some others that we need to say, give them a pat on the back when you see them out there?
Well, Jim Sowell helped us, give me millions for that indoor facility. Some of them don't do NIL, but Terry and Bob and Jim have been my biggest ones. And Jim, of course, you never see him. Give 10 to 15 million to start off that project. When Kirby and I went to did the ask, and Gerald was with us too. And he just, I love him. I mean, he said, "Hey, we're giving this. I want to give this, and I want a track over there. We're going to do football, but I want a track on the other side." And there's no facility that has the football and the track like we do.
Coach, we got to go.
You made it.
Right,
you made it.
Talk to you
off.
next week.
Go beat them. Wreck them.
You betcha.
Guns up.
Thank you.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Plains Capital because they've been such a great friend to Texas Tech and youth sports and high schools and junior. these are just community people that help us, and we appreciate them. And there's locations all over Lubbock for us old people that like to go in the bank. You know, most people, you talk to young people today that you go to the bank, nobody, they use their phone and their laptop to, and Plains Capital, you can do that too. But, you know, some people just like to go into the bank, especially old people. All right, Fuddruckers and Cafe Venture, that's Mickey Rogers. And, boy, we ate there this week. I ate there a couple of times this week, and I love to go to Fuddruckers, and just the whole menu's delicious. But they do make the world's greatest hamburger. Plus, you get to help make it yourself. You get to put all the stuff on, all the fixings all yourself. You get to put it on there at Fuddruckers. And at 66th in Milwaukee is where you'll find them. And Mickey does a fantastic job, and we appreciate it. You talk about a guy that helps the youth. And they help Will Culpepper.
They do all of our tailgate foods for Double T Varsity Club.
Isn't it nice just to tell Mickey, and you don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely.
It's done.
Takes care of everything. Another thing about Fuddruckers is when I played football at Tech many years ago, that was where me and now my wife and my mom and dad, we would go after games. That was your
place.
That was our tradition.
It was over there close to Tech.
Yeah, well, it was
was that before?
It was on. It was right across from the mall at that point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they were there for a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
But when they first started, they're across from Tech, and they had all those boxes stacked up of beer.
Well, I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And you'd walk in there and go, "Welcome to Fuddruckers." But those were the days. It's still great. Still great today, even greater today. Will Culpepper is here. He is the executive director of the Double T Varsity Club. I don't know if that's the official title, but it's good enough.
Yeah, that's it. That's good.
Good.
Yeah.
So,
how we doing this morning?
We're doing good.
Super.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I was wanting a national championship yesterday.
I was a little disappointed, but you got to. I mean, a disappointment lasts for just a little bit, and then
you're
just proud of them.
How good we did. How awesome.
I mean, I was sitting there last night as we were watching it with my wife, and I'm like, "Yep, there's going to be several of these girls will be inducted in the Hall of Fame here in about 10 years." So
yeah.
Look, and he brought us these caps.
Brought them a couple of hats.
These are really nice. Varsity Club.
You know, this is the second time in like a month I've been on. That's a record.
I know
for me.
it.
Yeah. Well, you got knowledge. You got knowledge, and we like people that have knowledge.
Plus, it's just really hard to find anybody this time of year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm so far down on the list. You're like, why don't we have Will on?
There's nothing going on, just a national track meet and
in the Hall of
World
Fame
Series and anyway.
Isn't it exciting though to have all this going on even this late in the quote unquote school year, but. I mean, it just shows where our athletics.
We're going to try to have the Sellers on because I want to publicly thank them because they stepped up,
absolutely,
and did something that gave us a lot of joy. And we can pretend like we would have been playing for the national championship without Najee.
No,
but we wouldn't have been. We wouldn't have been. They brought her here, and we got to reap the benefits of it, and it was fun. It was a fun run.
It was delightful.
Yeah, right up till the bottom of the first.
Yeah.
But
well, even you know what we fought though. You know that's a great testament.
I loved it. We didn't get run ruled, and you know that just a brief glimmer of what we might accidentally come back.
Well, we got started getting some people on base. I was like, all right, we're gonna.
Well, we hit that girl. We put the ball in play. She's not a strikeout pitcher.
No,
not against us anyway.
No,
and we put the ball in play.
Let me tell you what. There's a reason UT was playing for the national championship. And had been 3 of the last 4 World Series. Yeah. They've been in the championship game because they are good.
Yeah. That third baseman, Mia Scott, is
unbelievable.
She's a stud.
She really is.
She's a stud. Is she a junior?
I hope she's a senior.
Let's talk to the Sellers about. We could use a third baseman.
Yeah. She's a junior. Let's get her.
Let's get her, by golly. I wouldn't mind poaching some Longhorns.
Oh man,
yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Well, Will, you've got a lot going on. And what's the date for the Hall of Fame?
November 7th and 8th weekend is the Hall of Fame weekend. That's home game versus BYU. And so that Friday night
we'll have a big weekend.
We'll have our Hall of Fame banquet. And then during halftime of the BYU game, we'll recognize them. And it'll be a great weekend. So it's a great class. We're really proud of the class. You're always behind, right? You look at different lists of this person goes in. Well, most of those people will go in at some point, but the way we do it, Texas Tech, the former players, managers, and coaches, they nominate and then they vote on the Hall of Famers. And so I love what we do. You know, in some universities, there's secret meetings and secret people and people that actually maybe haven't even played sports. They make the decision on who goes on the Hall of Fame, or one individual does.
I'm not sure it wasn't that way here. It was right that way here. Before,
years
I think
ago.
Rodney changed it, but back turn of the century, back at the turn of the century, I think that's the way they did it here. There was a committee that did it.
And we have a committee just to look at the votes and narrow things down, but it's truly a vote. And so that's what I love is obviously you have to be all conference at minimum. And then I always say, and now I get a chance to introduce myself to all the incoming kids that are playing at Texas Tech. And I asked them all, who wants to be in the Hall of Fame one day? And it's been great the past 3 semesters. So many kids raise their hand. I get to tell them, well, you got to be good, right? You got to play on good teams. You got to be good all conference. But you better be a good teammate, because if you're not a good teammate, you're probably not getting many votes.
That's
right. Because we get to see who votes for who. It's amazing when they're.
And I put my vote in. I put my ballot in, and then I was going to come back and look at it and talk about it on the show. And it wouldn't let me go back in. I guess.
No, I think I looked.
In and
I think he voted. I think he was a little biased. He voted for the baseball guy first.
Well, I definitely voted for the baseball guy. No, I think I probably voted for Ryan Aycock first because he's my buddy.
Yeah.
But
I talked to Ryan yesterday. He's going to Mickey Peters' wedding.
He
was going to be on today, but he's going to Mickey Peters' wedding.
Yeah.
It's in the Metroplex somewhere.
Yep, in Dallas Fort Worth. Yeah. Several former teammates are going to be there. So we're excited about the class. So, Coach Stone has this is the second year in a row. He'll have a soccer player, Janine Becky's going in, and she's still all-time leader in goals, all-time leader in winning goals, and 130 points. And
she's the greatest. I would, you would think she's the best ever.
Yeah,
to play
one of them, without a doubt.
Coach Stone was a little. So, well, if she goes in, is that the standard for the next one? I'm like, no, that's just she was on the back. She came. She was. Who else gets in after her? I'm like, but no, I said
EJ was probably the first football player.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to be better than EJ to get in.
Hey, are they going to put a trophy? I mean, not a trophy. Statue up of Donnie Anderson. Is there truth to that, or is that just?
No, I think that was somebody on Facebook keeps on.
You can't
posting stuff like that.
Hey, we are going to get. We should have had him bring it in because it's a pain to bring.
The saddle.
The saddle.
EJ Hollop's saddle.
I do. I have EJ's saddle.
What are we going to do with it?
We're going to put it in the new FTF. I don't know when we're going to do it. But
always letters, isn't it?
What is that?
The football training facility, the new football Womble.
Yeah.
It takes too long to say football training facility.
Yeah. So I know I talked to Andrea about it.
LOL.
We're gonna put it somewhere where the players can see it, and then close by one of the spaces that hosts.
We talking about OAT?
Yes.
Andrea Tyree.
AT.
OAT.
We could do a whole show of acronyms, but.
AT was trying to get the Sellers to be on the show with us today.
Well, you should have called me. I could have asked John.
Well, I think they're traveling.
No, I didn't. No, it didn't work.
Actually, AT was trying to get JS on the show today.
Yeah.
JS and TS.
WC will pull it off.
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
No, we really do want to have them on.
Yeah.
We want to have them in here, talk about.
That doesn't mean they want to be on, but that means we want to have them on.
John, actually, you could do a whole show, a whole hour-long show with John.
Really?
Yeah, he just has so many funny stories, and he's a big personality and just a.
Well, I met him. We were up in one of the suites for basketball, and Cody was in there, Cody Campbell, and John was in there, and Cody introduced me to John, and he had no idea who I was, which was fine. And when we told him who I was, he didn't really seem to care.
He probably had about 100 people trying to talk to him, so no,
really nobody.
No, whatever. He treats everybody the same. He's a great guy. He really is. So.
And those are guys you played with.
Yeah, they were red shirts when I was senior, and then I talked to him a few times, and after we played, but I think the last 7-8 years we reconnected because they're in Midland every week pretty much, and so when I lived in Midland I'd see him not every week but quite often. So
what kind of ball player was he? What did he play?
John?
Yeah.
Man, he was defensive lineman.
Big boy.
Yeah, and
he's a big guy.
He's big. Still a big guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
But Cody and John, their dads were friends, and of course, Cody's dad played here, and they went to high school together. And,
oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a great story.
Who was better, Cody or his dad?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, both good
We'll
players.
ask Cody.
Careful.
Yeah.
Cody was.
Yeah, Cody.
No doubt.
I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think Cliff would say he's better though.
Yeah. Cliff would.
I'll go with CC.
We ought to get. CC, he was the best.
Yeah.
Well, this is exciting class, and I just love the fact. I mean, y'all have kind of a limitation as to the number of sports. Do you have to pick one from this sport, or is
No? We kind of look at who's nominated. I mean, you're not obviously there's some people that we get to nominate too, but the committee they're part of that because everyone on there except for one is a letter winner. Nominations go in, and then but really we just take in all the nominations and then we look at it and we kind of settle in, and you can see like some of these individuals, they were nominated 4, 5, 10 times by different letter winners, and then you can say, all right, there's a trend line here, and then when we put out the vote, obviously there's more football letter winners than all other letter winners. So, we do look at the numbers, and it'll be very football, quote unquote, dominant. But we always kind of say like, obviously there's going to be some football individuals that are worthy, but we make sure we look at the numbers after 1 or 2 football individuals, and then. We always make sure there's female representations there, but we don't say, hey, we need one from every sport, but we kind of say that the class shouldn't go more than 8 people. The past couple of years we've had 6, 7 people go in. This year we settled on 8. Anything more than 8, the ceremony gets way too long, and we want to make sure.
It might be good for 1 year, but if you start a trend like that, people will quit coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even as special as it is, they'll go, well, I ain't got 2.5 hours.
Yeah. We try to be pretty efficient with it too.
Yeah.
So,
y'all do a good job with
No,
that.
it's a wonderful ceremony.
well, I got to give props to Caitlin Clemens and Caitlin Sharp. They're Caitlin Clemens, the assistant director with Double T Varsity Club, and Caitlin Sharp is with Red Raider Club. But they really, almost all, events like this, they're the ones that are planning a lot of it.
that is a wonderful idea to hire people with the same name.
Yeah.
Because the older you get, it's
makes it
harder to
easier.
remember everybody's name.
Yeah.
So if you just get everybody Caitlin.
Yeah. Just make it
Caitlin,
easy.
get in here.
Yeah, exactly. But so we talked about Janine Becky, Ryan Aycock. You mentioned
In football, 2000 to 2003. Becky was 2012 to 15.
Brag on him a little, but we're going to have him come in soon.
Well,
so you don't have to brag on him a
for
lot.
Ryan, I would say obviously he's top 10 in tackles and interceptions, but he has 3 such of the big interceptions, Ole Miss, A&M, and Texas games that help seal the victory.
The Texas game set up the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crabtree.
No, that was before that. Way before that.
Yeah, he was 2003.
Yeah. So that's all right.
Just say, go with it.
Go with it. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Don't be correcting the host on the show.
It's your show. Yeah.
Remember when Ryan Aycock got that interception? We won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he flipped it to Donnie Anderson.
That was a great play.
That was so great.
Yeah, that's great. Gabby Dominguez, one of our lady golfers.
2009 to 13.
Her teammate went in a couple years ago, Kim Kaufman, and so it's great having her in.
4 consecutive NCAA regional appearances.
Yeah, one of JoJo's best, and she still has a single season scoring record. Say that 10 times.
In golf?
Yeah, for ladies, yeah.
The lowest.
Yeah, single season record. So,
well, you still hadn't got it right.
Yeah,
try it one more time.
No, I'll let you do it.
No, you can do it.
Single season scoring record.
There we go.
There you go. And then you got Jacorian Duffield, high jumper, 2-time national champion. I mean, Kittley. Like we said last year, Coach went in the Hall of Honor, and we had a couple of his athletes go in. We're at the point where he'll have 1 or 2 go in. He has Jacorian and Sierra White going in this year, and Jacorian was he's a 4-time first-team All-American. Sierra's a sprinter. She's 3-time Big 12 champion sprinter, and she has, I think, 11 second or first-team All-American individual records.
I'm asking Gary, how high did Jacorian Duffield jump?
Well, he's over 7 foot.
Yeah, boy. 7'8".
Oh, good gosh.
Yeah.
7'8".
That's real close to jumping over that door.
Yeah, pretty much.
It really is.
Isn't that I mean, look at that. That's amazing.
I can't even figure out how they do it.
Literally, in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, that was like the pole vault.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you could pole vault 7 foot, you were the man.
Yeah, exactly.
7'8".
Matt Kostelik, All-American, stolen base leader. I think he had 46 and then 95 and 51 stolen bases in 96.
Gee whiz.
I looked at. He also had a really good batting average. I mean, obviously to be on base that much is still, but I think his all-time batting average is 4th for Texas Tech, 389, and he's 5th in single season, 424.
Well, when you're that fast, just put it in play and start running.
Yep. And then you got Aaron Hunt. Still our all-time sack leader.
He was a great player.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, he was great.
Hilarious, too.
Was he?
Oh, man, he's still hilarious.
We'll get him on the show.
Oh, I'll get him on.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.